In this video, I'm excited to show you how version control can be your secret weapon for managing changes to your project's data every step of the way. Plus, I'll guide you through setting up the best solution out there. Git. What's Git? It's a powerful tool that handles everything related to managing data modifications in your projects. But that's not all. It offers features like making online backups, syncing files with your teammates, and even merging your work with theirs. And the best part? Everything is super simple thanks to the many Git client applications available. You might be wondering, what is a Git client? A Git client is an application that helps you manage your projects more easily. But if you prefer the old-fashioned way, you can use terminal commands to access even more Git features. There are plenty of Git applications out there, both free and paid. Some paid applications also offer free plans. One important feature often included with paid applications is the ability to lock files. This is crucial when working in a team, especially with binary files like Unreal Engine assets.
Imagine the problems that can arise when groups of people work on the same binary files simultaneously without a way to merge them. This is where the check-in, check-out method comes into play.
Your next question might be about where all these Git activities take place. The answer is simple, both locally and online. You can keep everything on your machine or take it a step further and store the data on a server. Don't be intimidated by the term server.
There are plenty of online Git servers, with the most famous being GitHub. GitHub offers free plans. However, I prefer to use GitLab. It has many features similar to GitHub, but also provides more storage space, which is especially useful if you're working with Unreal Engine, where project sizes can increase rapidly. As of the time of recording this video, GitLab offers 10 GB per repository for free plans. Now that you're getting familiar with the terms of version control in Git, listen to this story to learn more. My partner and I are working on a game, and we store our project files in a repository. We have a main branch that contains all of our finished tasks. One day, we decided to test a new enemy character to see if we could add more balance to our game. So each of us created a new working branch from the main branch and started working. Once she was happy with her design, she first committed the new character to her working branch on her local machine. Then she pushed that commit to the server to ask for my opinion. To see her branch, I had to commit my work and fetch from the server to get all the new data, then I could see her work. Everything was great as always, and she merged her working branch into the main branch. However, my task wasn't finished, and I needed to test my codes with her artwork. But my working branch was behind the main branch. So, to access her artwork in my working branch, I merged the main branch into my working branch. Once my task was finished, I committed and pushed my work to the server so she could double check by switching to my working branch. Finally, when we were both happy, I merged my working branch into the main branch. Let's recap keywords. Repository is the place where your project lives. Branch is like a subversion or a temporary place to work. Commit is similar to making a snapshot or saving your work. Merge is to combine two branches. And push is the function you use to upload to the server. Pull and fetch are the functions to download from the server. Enough talking. Let's get our hands dirty and start working. Go to gitlab.com and create a new account if you don't already have one. At the time of recording this video, clicking the Get Free Trial button will give you a 30-day free trial of the Ultimate plan, which includes many features. However, if you click on Sign In and can prove that you are human, you can go to the Register form to get a regular free account. Fill out the form or just click the Google button to create an account using your Google account. With just a few clicks and proof that you are still human, you will receive a verification code in your email to finalize your account creation. In the final step, GitLab will ask you a few questions about yourself to enhance your experience. One of the cool features of GitLab is grouping, which makes managing different projects a breeze. For example, I've created groups for my website, Unreal Projects, and my YouTube channel. After giving your project a name, you'll see the address of your project. Keep the README file. It has some helpful tips. If you have an existing project, you can migrate it to GitLab from the Import tab. For the last step, click on Create Project. Now, you're officially in your first Git project. Congratulations! Want to invite someone to join your project? Use the invite form. You can also invite people later. From the top links, you can easily navigate to your groups and switch between your projects. To create new projects, groups, or subgroups, click on the plus icon next to your profile icon. To invite members to a group, click Invite Team Members here. Just keep in mind that they'll have access to all projects within that group. If you want to invite members to a specific project, go to the project page, click the plus icon again, and invite new members. The invite form is straightforward. You can invite people by username or email address, and even set an expiration date for their access. The most important field is the role. If you set it to guest, they'll only be able to view your project. The other roles are pretty self-explanatory. Inside the README file, you'll find some initial tutorials to get you started.
We'll come back to this warning later, but let me change the color to dark mode before we get blind. Now, let's install Git on our machine. There are two ways to install Git. You can install Git manually, or wait until we install SourceTree and let that application handle it for you. To install Git manually, open this link, select your OS, and download the software. The installation process is straightforward and defaults are usually fine, so you can just keep clicking Next until it's done. If you prefer using the command terminal, you can skip the SourceTree installation. Otherwise, remember, you can use any Git client you like. Head over to their website and download it. Once it's downloaded, you can install it.
The installation steps are super simple. First, it asks for an Atlassian account. If you have one, log in. Otherwise, you can create a free account or just skip it like I did. On the Tools installation page, you'll see that Git is already installed if you did it manually in the previous step. Otherwise, make sure to enable it. You might be wondering, what is Mercurial? It's another type of version control system. You can keep it enabled or uncheck it. The main difference is how they manage branches in your project. On the next page, set a name. It can be any name, like a username, and enter the email you use to create your GitLab account. Click Next, and when it asks for an SSH key, click No. We'll set that up later. Now, you should see the SourceTree application with its nice and clean UI design. We now have the tools to complete our GitLab account setup and get rid of this warning. Let's add the SSH key. Click on Add New Key, and we need to provide an SSH key. If you installed SourceTree, go to the Tools menu and select Create or Import SSH key. Set the type, then click the Generate button. You'll need to move your mouse in the blank area to create some random values. Once it's done, save both the public and private keys somewhere safe on your computer. Now, copy the provided public key and paste it into the SSH key field. Set a custom name, you can disable the expiration date, and add the key. But if you decide to stick with the command terminal, to create the SSH key, open Git Bash on your machine and enter this command. Replace the sample email with the email you used to create your GitLab account and press Enter. Press Enter once more. If you want, you can set a password, but I don't need to set one. Navigate to the provided address, and you'll see two files created. For now, we need the public one, which ends with pub. Open that file in Notepad, copy all the data to the key field on the website. You can give it a custom name and remove expiration date and click Add Key. Make sure to keep both files safe on your machine. You'll need them later. Now, let's make a copy of our project locally on our machine. In SourceTree, go to the Remote tab and click on the plus icon to add an account. Select your hosting service, in this case, GitLab. To log in, you need an access token. Head back to the GitLab website, click on your avatar, and go to Preferences. On the left menu, click on Access Tokens and add a new token. The token name can be anything. Set the expiration date or leave it blank, and enable any access you need. I'll enable all of them. Finally, create the personal token. Click on this icon to copy the token. This token will act as your password in SourceTree. To find your username, click on the avatar and copy or remember everything written after the @ sign. Now, back to SourceTree. Click on Refresh Personal Token, enter your username, and paste your personal access token as the password. If you enter everything correctly, you'll be logged into your account and see a list of your projects. Sometimes you need to change the tabs to see the clone button. And finally, it shows the clone button. Click on Clone and it will automatically fill all the fields for you. Remember, you can manually clone any repository you have access to, or any public repository from this tab by copying its address. Now, select the path, and in the second field, write a name for the root folder. It will create the folder automatically. Once everything is ready, click on the Clone button, and SourceTree will handle everything for you. As you can see, my local version of the project has been created. Before we go any further, let me change the color mode to dark before I go blind. Go to the Tools menu, open Options, and change the theme to Dark. If you prefer using the command terminal, follow these steps to set up your local version of the project. Create a new folder for your project, right-click, and select Open Git Bash here. This will automatically set the path in the terminal. First, let's set our username globally so all our projects will use it. Next, we need to set our email using this command. If you don't set a username and email, you won't be able to push anything to the server. Enter these commands step by step. To initialize Git, use git-init. To add the server address, use this command and add the project URL at the end. To download files, use git fetch origin. This step is optional. You can use the git branch A command to see the branches of your project. Select the branch you want to work on and use git checkout command to switch to a branch. Now, we need to set the upstream and downstream of this branch. It's like the address to upload and download files. Use these commands if you're in the main branch. If you're not on the main branch, use these commands and replace your branch name at the end. Every time you create a branch, you have to set upstream and downstream. Now, it's time to learn file modification management. For now, we only have one file, and that's enough to show you how to manage file changes. Let's open that file in Notepad, add some random text, and save the file. Back in SourceTree, you can see the README file I modified is in the unstaged files list. In this step, we can make a temporary backup of our file, similar to the Save As function, allowing you to have a backup while you continue working. If you don't like the changes, you can revert to the backup. To do this, click on the plus icon, or if you want to stage multiple files, click the Stage All button. Now, let's add some other changes, and don't forget to save the file. You can see that there are new changes in the unstaged state, which do not affect your backup or staged file. You can now merge them by clicking on the plus icon or right-click and discard the file changes if you want to restore the backup file. If you open the file again, you'll see the second change is gone.
If you prefer to manage your files with the terminal, get the list of changed files by using the git status command. To stage a file, use git add, then write the full name of your file for a single file, or use git add dot to stage all files together. If I check the status again, you can see that the file is staged. Let me add a second change to it. As you can see, this file now has changes that are not staged. To restore a modified file, the command is git restore, and write your file full name for a single file, or git restore dot to restore all files.
Now, we can take it one step further by creating a commit. It's like creating an important backup of our files locally on our machine. Once you've staged all your files, write a description for your commit in the field at the bottom. I suggest keeping the immediate push option unchecked. I also suggest keeping amend latest commit unchecked. I will show an example for this later. Now, it's time to commit. As you can see in the History tab, we have a new commit. If you click on the commit, you can see the list of changed files or a preview of text file changes on the right side. We successfully created a local backup of our project. Now we can go back and continue working on our files and see the changed files in the File Status tab.
Just to demonstrate the amend option, let me add another change to the file. As you can see, I called my previous commit first commit. I have an unstaged file. I must stage the new change. Now, if I enable amend latest commit, it will automatically fill the message field with the last commit name. I can change or keep it. Now, as you can see, the first commit is gone, and I have a single commit called last commit. You can have as many local commits as you want, but I suggest pushing them to the server regularly.
If you're using the terminal, after staging your files, use this command to commit them. Don't forget to write a description for your commit. Let's delete this useless commit and add our Unreal project files to the repo. Right-click on the commit you want to revert to, click on Reset Current Branch to this commit, and change the mode to Hard. This will remove all newer commits and restore all files to that point. To restore commits using the terminal, first download the latest changes from the server by using this command, and next use this command to restore to the last commit downloaded from the server. If you want to switch to a specific commit, use this command and include the commit's ID at the end.
For the last step, I've copied an empty Unreal project to this folder. As you can see in the list of changed files, there are some files we don't need on the server, like autosave files, cached files, some binary files, or Visual Studio files if you have a C++ project. To fix this, I want to introduce another feature called the ignore file. You can add folders, subfolders, files with a specific format, or folders files that include a certain word in their name to be ignored by Git when they change. There's a standard gitignore file made for Unreal Engine. I'll put its link in the description of this video. Just copy that into your project folder, and it will handle everything for you. As you can see, after I copied the ignore file, the unstaged files went from 30 to just 6 important project files, including the gitignore file. You can open the gitignore file and edit it as needed. You may want to prevent uploading some files or folders to your server. For example, there's a folder in my contents that I want to ignore. All I need to do is set the path, and the asterisk at the end indicates everything in this folder. Now, we are ready to upload our project to the server. The steps are the same as before. First, stage all files, then write a description and commit the files. Finally, push your files to the server. Congratulations, you now know how to manage your project like a pro. Go back to the GitLab site to confirm all changes. As you can see, our last commit is Initialize Unreal Project, made about a minute ago. If you're using the terminal, the command to upload your commits to the server is git push. If you want to learn more advanced stuff about Git, leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel.